The future friend switch. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Your brain treats future you like a stranger. Strangers don't get urgency. Strangers don't get budget. That's why you intellectually know saving or studying matters, but emotionally, it feels optional. The fix is not to visualize future you harder. The fix is to turn future you into a friend who exists in the next few hours. Say this out loud: I'm helping my 7 a.m. friend, not I'll work out tomorrow. I'm helping my 7 a.m. friend. Now let me show you exactly how to make that real in under 60 seconds. Pick a specific time slot that already exists, 7 a.m. Name the friend, my 7 a.m. friend. Now do a micro-favor for them like you would for an actual friend who's visiting. Lay out the workout clothes at the foot of the bed. Fill the water bottle and put it on the counter where your hand lands. Open your playlist and cue the first track. That's it. You didn't prepare for tomorrow. You did a favor for someone you care about who happens to be you soon. This clicked for me when I kept skipping morning runs. I tried pep talks, longer plans, better shoes, nothing stuck. The week it finally worked, I changed one sentence in my head. Help your 7 a.m. friend. Night Patty placed shoes by the door and cued one song. Morning Patty didn't negotiate, she followed the favor. There was no drama because the start was already done. Why does this work? The thing most people miss is that our social brain weighs favors more than abstract goals. Be fit in 6 months is vague and far. Don't let your 7 a.m. friend down is specific and near. You convert an abstract future into a concrete social commitment. You also create a tiny friction drop. The first click action is primed, so the hardest part, starting, slides. Let me make it practical across domains. Study, I'm helping my 12:30 friend. Tonight, title the doc Week 3, Practice QS, write one question at the top and leave the cursor after a hyphen. That's the first click. Finance, I'm helping my Friday 5 p.m. friend. Open your bank app, set an auto transfer, and place a sticky note that says 1-minute ledger on your laptop. Creative, I'm helping my 8 p.m. friend. Open the canvas or doc, type one sentence or make one brush stroke, then leave it visible. Key rule, keep the favor under 60 seconds. If your favor becomes a mini project, your present brain rejects it. You're not doing the work now, you're removing pebbles from the start line. One visible tool, one open artifact, one first click. Common miss, stacking 3 favors at once. Don't. One friend time, one favor. You're training a new identity, I help my future friend. Make that line your quiet mantra while you prep. If you remember nothing else, remember this: favors beat fantasies. Quick test you can do right now. Pick tomorrow's exact hour, say the friend line, prep a single first-click artifact, and place it where your tired morning self can't miss it. Shoes by the door. Dock open on the screen. Water bottle filled. You've just pulled the future into reach. Now, quick win secured. Let's dissect the trap your brain keeps falling into so you stop blaming willpower and start engineering better starts. The trap, present brain versus future you. Before we keep building, you need to see the trap clearly. Your brain is biased toward now. Present bias means now beats later almost every time. If something feels distant, your brain quietly discounts it. That's why the scroll wins over the study session, the snack beats the training plan, and the checkout button crushes your savings goal. It's not that you don't care. It's that later barely registers as real. Now here's where most people mess up. They assume more willpower solves it. But when the reward is delayed, your limbic system doesn't fire. No dopamine, no urgency. So you reach for something that pays now. The couch, the feed, the cookie. Quick hit secured, long-term goal taxed. Then comes the shame. You promise to fix it tomorrow, which keeps the future far and the loop alive. Let's make it concrete. You plan to study at 8 p.m. At 7:55, your phone pings. One notification becomes a thread, becomes a video, becomes it's too late to start. You buy back time with a promise, tomorrow I'll do double. Tomorrow arrives, feels heavy, and you avoid the wait again. That's the spiral. Present relief, future debt, renewed pressure, then another escape. Same thing with money. You intend to transfer $200 to savings on Friday, but a flash sale hits Thursday night. The sale is loud, the transfer is silent. You know the math favors saving, but the sale has color, countdowns, and a dopamine promise. Your brain isn't malicious, it's just wired to move toward immediate certainty and away from distant ambiguity. Fitness, you've lived this. The training plan is a 6-week arc, but tonight's craving is 10 minutes away and the gym is 20. Your brain compares a guaranteed cookie to an abstract better health. One is tangible, one is fog. The cookie wins because the timeline is tighter. The emotional cost is real. Every short-term escape buys shame. Shame narrows your focus to relief. Relief often looks like another short-term hit, so you're stuck in a loop that punishes effort and rewards avoidance. And the more you identify as someone who can't follow through, the easier it gets to choose the quick hit next time. The thing most people miss is the stranger effect. We routinely underfund strangers. Future you is treated like one. You'll smile at a charity box but tip it with coins, not bills. You'll sign up for a newsletter and never read it. We do the same with our future self. Pleasant thoughts, minimal investment. If it feels distant, your brain discounts it to 0. Actually, let me back up and explain this better. Your brain runs a quiet math problem, value divided by delay. Even big outcomes get rounded down when they're far away. That means small, smart actions feel pointless because their payoff sits too far on the timeline. Why start a paragraph if it won't finish the chapter? Why do one set if it won't change your body? That's the present brain talking. It's judging the right action with the wrong ruler. Once you see this, everything else clicks. You stop arguing with later and start reshaping now. The goal isn't to become a superhero. It's to change the choice architecture so present you says yes without a fight. That's why the future friend favor works. You shorten the distance and gave your social brain a reason to act. Let me give you a micro story. A student messaged me last month. I keep planning 3-hour study blocks and bailing. We shrank it to a 12:30 friend, 1 pre-written question, and the cursor placed after a hyphen. She started 3 minutes, got a small win, and stopped. Next day, same setup. By day 5, she texted, weirdly easy. Nothing magical, just removing distance and making the start the default. So no, you're not broken. You're running human code. The trap is simple. Present bias, distant rewards, low urgency, then shame-fueled escapes. Therefore, we'll flip the script by pulling the future close, making the first step obvious, and giving your brain a clean reward signal right away. This sets up the next part, why small actions feel useless and how to make them feel powerful again. The futility loop, why small actions feel useless. Now we hit the part that quietly kills progress, the futility loop. It goes like this. You do a tiny action toward a distant goal, you don't feel anything change, your brain concludes pointless, and you stop. Effort feels too small to move a faraway outcome, so you save energy for something that pays now. That judgment sounds logical, but it's built on a bad assumption about scale and feedback. The illusion of scale is the first trap. We expect a big sensation from a single session, 1 workout, 1 study block, 1 budgeting step. When the mirror, the grade, or the bank balance doesn't jump, it feels like the action didn't matter. The result? You look for something with a noticeable payoff, like a scroll hit or a snack. Those pay immediately, so your brain marks them as effective, even though they move you backward. Feedback starvation is the second trap. Your limbic system learns from quick loops, action, reward, repeat, but long-term goals pay on a delay. If nothing good happens near the action, your brain gets no learning signal to reinforce the behavior. That doesn't mean the action is useless. It means the loop is empty. No ping equals no repeat. Under the hood, you've got a tug-of-war. The limbic system trades in now, your prefrontal cortex trades in later. When later stays abstract, the limbic side wins by default. So even when you care about the future, the system that presses go is underfed. That's why willpower alone burns out. Without a near reward, you're asking the slow system to outmuscle the fast one over and over. Compounding blindness makes this worse. Early reps don't look like progress because compounding starts flat. The first 10 pages of notes look like nothing. The first $50 saved feels like nothing. The first 5 workouts don't change your body. We undervalue early reps because we can't see the curve yet. So we quit at the exact moment we should keep going. Now here's where most people mess up. They jump to more theory, better plans, smarter frameworks, without fixing the feedback. Theory improves intentions, feedback drives repetition. If the loop doesn't pay in the first minutes, you won't repeat it enough times to see compounding. The fix isn't bigger goals. It's building a loop that pays near the action. So what's the better method? Shrink the unit of success and attach immediate feedback to the first action, not the outcome. The smaller the unit, the closer the feedback can be. One paragraph earns a visible check. One set triggers your favorite 90-second track. 1 minute of ledger update fires a quick animation. You're not bribing yourself for finishing the marathon. You're rewarding the ignition that makes the marathon possible. Let me show you exactly how this plays out. For study, your start is 3 minutes with a pre-written question. You hit the timer, read the question, write any answer. Then you mark a start streak on a simple scorecard. Common mistake to avoid, making the reward conditional on finishing a chapter. That's too far. Pay the start, not the finish. For fitness, the first win is 1 set. Put your shoes where your hand lands, cue the playlist, and run the set. Then sip the coffee you prepped as the reward. Don't bundle the reward after 45 minutes. Keep it right after ignition. The reason this works is simple. You're feeding the fast system a near signal while the slow system quietly stacks gains. Finance, tie a 1-minute ledger update to payday and unlock a tiny treat after you record the first entry. Don't wait until you've balanced the whole budget. That delay breaks the loop. Creative work, open the doc the night before, type 1 sentence, leave the cursor ready. Next day, write 1 more line and let a progress bar tick up by 1. Visible movement beats vague virtue. If you remember nothing else from this section, remember this: your brain repeats what pays. Small actions feel useless only when they're unpaid. Pay the start. Make the unit tiny, make the cue obvious, and make the reward land within 60 seconds. Once the loop is alive, the reps compound, and the effort finally feels worth it. Now we can anchor that loop to time and environment so it fires without thought. Mechanism deep dive: temporal discounting in daily life. Before we build the system, you need a clean mental model of what's happening under the hood. Temporal discounting is the brain's tendency to value rewards less as they move further in time. And it's not linear. It follows a curve where the drop-off is steep in the near term and flattens later, so now feels massively valuable, and later fades fast. That's why even smart plans lose to tiny temptations at the moment of choice. Here's the plain language version. Your brain runs a quick trade. How much is this worth divided by how far away it is? The farther away, the more it gets rounded down. With hyperbolic discounting, the value cliff is sharp when comparing now versus in a little while, but gentler when comparing 2 future dates. That's why $100 now feels better than $150 in a month, yet $150 in 6 months can feel close to $100 in 5 months. The closer option steals attention. Daily life example: money. If I offer you $100 right now or $150 in a month, most people take the $100. Shift the timeline. $100 in 5 months or $150 in 6 months, suddenly the $150 wins. The amounts didn't change, your brain's weighting did. Same pattern with effort. 10 push-ups now versus better health later is a losing pitch because later is foggy. 10 push-ups versus coffee right after you start is a clearer, nearer trade, so the start becomes attractive. How do you spot this bias in yourself? Listen for the telltale excuses that shrink today and romanticize tomorrow. I'll have more energy later. Next week will be calmer. I do better under pressure. These are mental accounting tricks that keep the payoff far and the decision easy. The closer you get to the moment of action, the stronger those stories feel because the curve is steep near now. Now the cue craving loop. Your environment throws constant now cues, notifications, snacks, open tabs. Each cue promises a small, certain hit. That small certainty beats a big, vague outcome almost every time. The dopamine system flags immediacy. You tap, you get a ping, your brain tags that action as a winner. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the planner, deals in delayed, abstract rewards. When there's no near signal, the planner gets outvoted. That's not moral failure, it's wiring. This also explains why willpower drains so fast. Willpower is a manual override. You're asking the slow, deliberative system to fight quick, repeated, rewarding cues without any nearby payoff. After a day of decisions, the override gets fatigued. With no close reward, it's like pushing a car uphill. You can do it once or twice. You can't do it all week. So the move is not to try harder. It's to flip the discount curve by pulling the future into the present. 2 levers do it: make the future feel near and make the first action pay now. Nearness reduces the discounting. Immediate feedback supplies a learning signal. Together, they rebalance the choice so present you gets something right away while future you still benefits later. Let me ground this in practical switches you can make today. If the choice is vague and far, it loses. Make it concrete and soon. Not work out more, but at 7:00, press play and do one set. Not save money, but when my paycheck hits, record one line and transfer $10. Not study harder, but at 12:30, answer the first question already on my screen. The key is collapsing later into soon and tying start to a cue you'll actually meet. Common mistakes to avoid: tying rewards to completion instead of ignition, choosing triggers that move around, leaving the first step hidden behind multiple clicks, using vague time windows like sometime in the afternoon. Each of those increases delay, strengthens discounting, and starves feedback. If you fix just one thing, fix the distance from action to reward. Keep it under 60 seconds. Here's a quick diagnostic you can run tonight. For your next intended action, ask 3 questions. How near is it in time, an exact hour or a fuzzy later? How visible is the first click artifact, on screen and ready or buried? How immediate is the feedback, landed within a minute or after a long block? If any answer is far, hidden, or delayed, discounting will eat it. The reason this system works is it respects the math your brain uses. We're not pretending the future is as exciting as a ping. We're engineering the start so the present gets a small, clean win while the future gets compounding. Once you feel how different that is, we can build it into a 5-minute routine you can repeat every day. Now, here's the system that does it in 5 minutes. The Time Bridge System Overview. Here's the system in one sentence. Make the future feel near, specific, and socially relevant, then pay the first action immediately. We do that with 3 pillars: future friend favors, backward anchoring, and reward pairing, wrapped in a 5-minute daily setup. Future friend favors shrink the distance. You're no longer helping future me someday. You're helping your 7 a.m. friend, your 12:30 friend, your 8 p.m. friend. It matters because your social brain treats a favor as urgent. Backward anchoring locks timing and environment, so the start is the path of least resistance. Reward pairing feeds your fast brain a clean signal within 60 seconds, so it wants to repeat. Daily cadence is simple. One 5-minute block at night or at the end of your workday, plus an optional 2-minute reset at midday if your plan got noisy. The non-negotiables are tiny, visible, and immediate. Tiny means favors and triggers that take under a minute to set up and under a minute to start. Visible means tools and artifacts are in your line of sight, not tucked in tabs and drawers. Immediate means the reward hits within 60 seconds of ignition, not at the end of a long block. Success looks boring in a good way. Your friction to start is less than 60 seconds. Your reward lands less than 60 seconds after the first action. Your trigger is stable, after coffee, after lunch, when the paycheck hits, not a vague window. And your start is obvious. One first-click artifact already opened and placed where your tired self will stumble into it. Now here's what most people skip. They add theory and skip the mechanical parts. This system is mechanical on purpose. It respects how the brain learns: cue, easy action, instant signal. When you get those dials right, your present brain agrees to start, and your future self gets consistent reps. Once the overview clicks, we'll build it piece by piece. First pillar pulls the future close. Then we'll anchor to real-life cues. Then we wire and reward so the loop pays every time. Let's start with the social lever: future friend favors. Future friend favors. Why this matters? The thing most people miss is that your social wiring outranks abstract goals. You'll happily do a small favor for a friend today, but you'll delay a big favor for future me forever. So we convert future me into a near friend with a specific hour and a tiny ask. Once you nail that, everything else clicks. The ask is simple. Pick exactly one friend time tomorrow, not a window, an exact hour. 7:00 a.m., 12:30 p.m., 8:00 p.m. Name it out loud. I'm helping my 7 a.m. friend. This language matters. You're engaging the part of your brain that hates letting people down. Then you do one micro favor that removes the first pebble on their path. The favor has 3 pieces: tools, space, first click action. Tools means the single object they need in hand: shoes by the door, pen next to the open notebook, water bottle filled. Space means the environment is cleared and staged: chair facing the desk, browser clutter closed, gym bag at the threshold. First click action means the artifact they'll touch is already open at the exact starting point. A doc titled and cursor placed, IDE opened with the template playlist queued to track 1. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Write the first click in a way your tired version cannot misinterpret. For study, title the doc Bio Week 3, Q1, paste the first question, then type and leave the cursor after the dash. That dash is tomorrow's ignition. For writing, create a headline and one bullet like open with this moment, and stop there. For fitness, put the dumbbells where your feet land and set the timer app to 2 minutes ready to start. When your 7 a.m. friend shows up, they step into a runway, not a maze. Let me show you fast examples across domains so you can copy the pattern. Fitness, shoes by the door, timer preset to 2 minutes, playlist queued. Favor done in 40 seconds. Study, doc open, Q1 pasted, cursor after a dash, highlighter on the desk. Favor done in 50 seconds. Finance, bank app bookmarked and pinned, transfer template saved at $10, sticky note on laptop that says log 1 line. Favor done in under a minute. Creative, canvas open to 100% zoom, one stroke on the page, brush tool selected. Favor done in 30 seconds. Coding, IDE open to a new branch named Fix Login, boilerplate snippet pasted at line 1. Favor done in a minute. Script swaps matter. Replace, I should do it later with I'm helping my 6 p.m. friend. Replace, I'll try to study with I won't let my 12:30 friend open a blank page. This is not magical thinking. It's a constraint on your present brain. You made a promise to someone who arrives soon. That feels different than a vague promise to a distant you. Now here's where most people mess up. They prep too many favors and turn the night into a second workday. Don't do that. One friend time, one favor. You're aiming for under 60 seconds. If you catch yourself adding steps, shrink until a tired version of you would still do it. Another miss is vague timing. Tomorrow morning is a delay invite. Lock the hour. Hidden materials are a silent killer. If your shoes are behind a closet door or the notebook is in a bag, that's 2 extra micro steps. Each micro step is a chance for present bias to cut in.